So today I decided to do a little bit more in-depth look at the Python because I've had it for about a week or two now. I got nothing but praise for this ship. It's been really, really good in combat. It does trading well and it does exploration decently. The jump range is kind of poopy, but you can still explore stuff with it anyway. So what I've got it set up for now is basically anaconda hunting, and it's really good at anaconda hunting if you know what you're doing. Basically just get in behind the anaconda, stay in behind it, strip the shields with your lasers, and then target the power plant, and pretty much that's it. So what I would like to do with this anaconda Python is get a better power plant first of all, but the C7 power plant's pretty good. You can see I got 25 megawatts of power. I got B thrusters, still got that A frame shift drive. The big thing I like about this ship is the power distributors, class 7. And that's really helping with keeping the beam lasers charged and keeping weapons charged overall. I think that's what really sells this ship, other than being able to mount a whole bunch of hard points, but being able to have the power capacity to keep those hard points ready to fire is really, really good, even though that power distributor cost about, well, it's relatively cheap. I think it was like 4 million credits. You can see I'm running a class 6B shield generator, just as a little bit extra insurance, and a 6B shield bank, and that's pretty much gives you, I think, 10 charges for your shield cells. So that's a little bit of extra insurance. Of course, you can just change that out whenever you want. You're basically just investing a little bit of cash for a certain amount of time. Like, oh, let's go hunting for anacondas, and then you can just switch it over for a cargo bay later. Class 6 fuel scoop, because I didn't want to waste time floating around looking for, or just floating around a star for a couple minutes. So I basically can just scoop fuel and go and I'm done. 2 cargo racks, just because I don't really have anything else to put in the class 5 internal compartments for now. Auto field maintenance unit, because why not? If I'm going to go exploring with these advanced discoveries scanners and stuff, I'm going to want something that I can repair with if I'm 500 light years from the nearest station. And the advanced discovery scanner and detailed surface scanner for exploring if I feel like it, and the frame shift drive interdictor if I see somebody floating around that looks a little bit suspicious. So let's take a look at the hard points right now. You'll notice everything is not gimbaled, they're just straight fixed. That's just to avoid people using chaff and whatnot. I've usually stayed away from fixed hard points on this thing because the hard point window for the large hard points, they don't really converge. They kind of spread out, so smaller ships can evade your fire and stuff. You'll have one beam laser hitting something, and then the rest of the hard points won't. So I set up my hard points into the fire groupings as such that if I'm engaging a smaller ship, this grouping here is for engaging smaller ships, so I can choose to fire pulse lasers or beam laser rather than using all of them at once and draining the weapons capacitor right out. So you'll see I have 2 pulse lasers and a beam laser for shield stripping, which isn't... I'd like to try using turreted cannons, but a turreted cannon costs 16 million credits right now, so I need to do a little bit more trading for that. And you'll see I've got 2 medium cannons. This setup has worked really well for anaconda killing, and just regular killing in general. I'm surprised how good these cannons are. I thought initially when I had Class 2 cannons on my Viper, I was like, oh, this is kind of wimpy, but they do actually really well. Kill warrant scanner, because, you know, if you interdict somebody and you want to find out what the hell, if they have bounties and whatnot. Chaff launcher, because you kind of need it. Frameshift wake scanner, and heatsink launcher. So that's basically my setup for now for the Python, and it's worked really well. I'm actually quite pleased with how it's performed, and as long as I'm using good tactics, it's doing okay. So overall, I think this setup costs, I want to say 50 million credits, but if you have that kind of time and investment, if you keep trading, get yourself a Python and then get that cash, it's kind of worth it, because I have had nothing but fun with this setup. It's just kind of goofy in how powerful it is. So that's basically just another little look at a little bit more in-depth look at the Python. I really like it. Like this, it does everything that you want it to do, and it does everything pretty well. It's just the upkeep on it is a little bit costly, but whoop-de-doo, you trade a little bit and you get your cash back anyway. So I might just release a few videos later on during the next week of me just doing anaconda hunting and just generally getting into a lot of trouble with this thing. But for now, that's a little bit more detailed look at the Python.